Here's a clip from Tarabuster with Tara Devlin.
Because we have a con man squatting in the White House despite receiving fewer votes, he was more concerned with the numbers, what it looked like.
Okay, our numbers are going to go up. I would rather, because I like the numbers being where they are. I don't need to have the numbers double.
Many of the people in this country still think it's a hoax, that it's a politically motivated Democrat, even though it's Democratic. The word is Democratic, you scumbags that say Democrat Party. Don't be such a stupid follower. At least be an adult and call people by their names, you child. And I don't mean to insult children, because children wouldn't behave like that. And if they did, we would correct them. But what's your excuse when you become an adult and you act like a child? What you're saying is, I am unfit to hold leadership positions in a modern nation. Do whatever you will, but do not give me power. That's what it's saying. They're screaming. The Republicans scream it out all the time in so many ways. But many Americans do not listen. Why? Some of them are stupid. We know that. Some of them are racist. Some of them are just not paying attention. And that's why we're here. And that's why we have to counteract the lies. Unreal. When you think about it. It's not even when you think about it. When you don't think about it, it's unreal. But look at this cat, how cute he is. He's here for our emotional support. What's going on is that we have a moron squatting in the White House despite receiving fewer votes. And here, honey, get down. I know. And all right, we knew this pandemic was coming, but we have a moron who's more concerned about how it looks to him, for him. This is why he's a liar. This is why he wouldn't mobilize the government, because we could have avoided all this shit. Not saying we could have avoided all of the pandemic, all the sickness. Maybe if we had the leaders of the country, the representatives, if we had people at the top that weren't calling it a hoax, and they were mobilizing government saying this is coming, so we wouldn't have to wait. Instead of waiting, and now all the scrambling as Republicans block the attempts to offer relief to the working class, because that's who Republicans are. Any attempt to help working people, they will cut it off at the knees. I don't understand how anybody votes for them. This is what I'm so baffled about. What is wrong with you? And even if you're rich, because people say, I can understand how rich people vote for Republicans. Really? How disgusting do you have to be? If you're a rich person, you have everything you need and everything you want, and you still don't have enough. How vile and immoral do you have to be to vote for Republicans who use every opportunity, every bit of power to ingratiate themselves, to self-deal, and to ensure that others don't have it as good as they have it, don't have the same opportunities? They should be ashamed living in a country where the American people, you lose a paycheck and you could see already the crisis. The economy is unraveling because the gig workers and the hourly workers and the freelancers, the contract, all the people that Republicans make possible, because they hate unions, they hate having to have a unionized or a economically vibrant working class that could challenge and say, I demand a seat at the table. But yeah, I'm watching New York One, and they're saying all of the gig workers getting their pink slips in this crisis. All of the restaurants, the theaters, all of the Uber drivers, all of the people that depend on going to work to bring home a paycheck, putting in their hours, the time in their life that they'll never get back, trading that time and skill for a paycheck. And you see it's unraveled. It's unraveling already. They're like, oh, go to your savings, they're saying. What savings? The American people can't it's 80%. I saw Robert Reich on one of these programs today he was saying 80% live check to check. That's it. Check to check. That means one check. You're at a food bank. This is what they're saying. People are already going to food banks, and they're wondering, is there going to be enough food at the food bank, because there won't be people delivering the food or donating the food because everyone's sheltering in place. And that's what I heard. I was watching MSNBC, and Katie Tur was saying something about how the $1,000 that the Republicans whoopee effing doopy, $1,000. That's not even rent money here in this town. $1,000. That's like putting a Band-Aid on a bleeding artery. And she was saying something to hold them over until the $1,000, and they run out of savings or something like that. And I remember thinking, what the hell is she talking about? Obviously, she's spending too much time in the ivory tower. But what do you expect? You know, when you live in a bubble, that's who you're talking to. You're talking to fellow bubble people, bubble boys and girls who, what are you talking about? Savings. People are living check to check. In this, if this crisis doesn't show the truth and the need for everything that we talk about on this show, everything that Bernie advocates for, everything that we've been saying for years, and how useless Republicans are. They are completely useless on a good day. And they are entirely useless in a crisis. Because they don't want to address the crisis. That's the thing. They don't care. It's how can we get through this shit doing as little as we possibly can and still get reelected by the assholes until we can figure out how to get rid of voting once and for all. That's all that Trump cares about. Because if he really cared about the people, instead of denying that there was a crisis, that there's a pandemic coming, instead of worrying about calling it the Chinese virus, all this little branding tricks that he has, this little racist piece of garbage, worried more about how it looks. The Chinese virus. It doesn't matter to him that we have Chinese people living in this country. Chinese American people, or immigrants, or resident aliens, or guests. And he's stirring up hatred against other human beings yet again. And now he was saying how he's a war president. Yeah, really? Honey, you're no FDR. You're no Lincoln. My God. The delusion is astonishing. And what's worse is that despite all of this, despite the reality, millions of people will still vote for these
Tarabuster is recorded live every Saturday evening from 6 to 8
and women.
p.m. Eastern at the RDT Daily Facebook and YouTube channels, and rebroadcast on Sunday from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on Progressive Voices, or anytime on demand on the Progressive Voices app.
Support RDT Daily and Tarabuster by becoming a patron at patreon.com/Tara Devlin. Remember, we stick together, we win.